West Ham United will welcome Leicester City to the London Stadium, and an out-of-form West Ham side try and grasp any points they can before the World Cup break. As an informed Leicester side comes to the London Stadium off the back of a really poor start to the season, but they've picked it up very much so in this second half of this mini part of the season. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. Hope you are all well. This is our match preview for West Ham versus Leicester. Crunch time for Moyes and West Ham. It's do or die for David Moyes now, I believe. But I'm here for the preview, and I'm joined by Chris, who is a Leicester fan from Leicester Till I Die TV. Chris, how are you?
I am probably a lot more confident than you are at the moment.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm still trying to get my head around the fact that we've got the World Cup coming up. Yeah. In a way, I know it's there. I know we can't do anything, but it is probably coming at the wrong time for us because we're just hitting form, like you mentioned. So we could probably do without it at the moment, but it is what it is. We've got to live with it.
Yeah, we'll talk about all of that and the game in just a second. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to West Ham Unofficial if you need to become a channel member as well, if you would like. And go find Chris over on Leicester Till I Die TV. Link is in the chat. Tell people about everything you do over there, sir.
Oh, you haven't got long enough. No, I mean, Leicester Till I Die TV, like you say, on YouTube. There is Leicester content. That's obviously the idea behind it. But we have quizzes, as you well know. You actually won one. We have prediction shows, post-match shows, reaction. We're going to be doing so much during the World Cup, as I guess that most people are. Probably not for long because I don't think England will get very far. So I could be covering sort of 4 games at the most, I think. But yeah, basically anything football. If it's football related, we'll cover it.
Go and find Chris over there. Lawrence, hope you're well all the way over in the US of A. Hello to everybody else watching. Miss Hammerton as well. Miss Hammerton, I hope you are well. So in terms of the game, then obviously both sides currently sitting on the same amount of points. It's been to be fair, a really strange season for both sides, would you say, in terms of Leicester?
Definitely. I'm surprised how far down you are, if I'm honest with you.
So
a couple of seasons ago, I mean, we were 5th, you were 6th. Look how times have changed. The season after that, which was last season, that's when I thought you would struggle because I thought you'd go back to sort of, towards the bottom, but you didn't. You got back into Europe. Well done. But you seem to be having the season you seem to be one season behind us all the time. Leicester did that last year, and we struggled like you are with Europe and the league last season. We had a goddamn awful start. We had a bad off season. We didn't have money to spend, and let me just say at this point, we're not going bust. We're not up for sale or anything like. We're not Liverpool. We are being hit by FFP, and if we had qualified, and we're not likely to looking at the table now, but had we qualified for Europe this season, we would have been really, really hit with UEFA's FFP. We'd already got 27 players for a 25-man squad. We couldn't go and buy anybody, but nobody knew what was going on. It wasn't explained until sort of past the transfer window, but somebody we were trying to bring in a set piece coach, couldn't get a visa, and then of course we had the spoilt French brat who wanted to move to Chelsea. He is. I'm sorry if you're watching Wayne Fofana, do me a favour, break a leg and end your career now, because you are one horrible human being. I don't mind any player moving on, but when you go on strike because you don't want to play for the club. And this is, 2 months after you came out and said how wonderful Leicester was, signed a new contract. You stuck with me when my leg was broken. I'm going to thank the Leicester family once I get playing. To going on strike, refusing to play. And when you're watching your teammates from the stands and they score, you can't even look up from your phone and applaud. Then, no, you're a snake, mate. You're a snake. Enjoy him while you've got him, Chelsea, because in 2 years' time, he'll do the same to you when PSG come knocking.
Do you think
I'm bitter. I'm not bitter.
No, not at all. I cannot sense anything of the sort. Obviously, the sort of main stereotypical thought at the start of Leicester season was you were conceding 6 to Spurs and Christ, you were conceding goals for fun. What do you think has changed in the second half of the season? What do you think has been the key to your uprising form?
I think we've got we've got the new set piece coach come in, and we knew last season we had trouble with set pieces. We couldn't defend a corner. I mean, I can remember, I think it was the West Ham game where the commentator said, "Oh, Leicester have conceded a corner. For Leicester, that's as good as giving away a goal." Oh, it's a goal for West Ham. I mean, literally that quickly, that, you know, and that was true. You got a corner, we couldn't defend. Casper's gone, and I agree with that. I think it was time. We've got Danny Ward in, who is he comes off the line more. He's more commanding.
A better keeper?
We're talking Schmeichel last season or Schmeichel in his prime?
Well, Schmeichel last season.
Yes, he's as good as. Because Schmeichel, I'm afraid, every player has the sell-by date, and I think, you know, unfortunately, Casper came onto it. But, you know, we had problems with the defence. Evans got injured again. So Fofana, like I said, left us at the last minute. We didn't get Wes Faust in straight away. And we were playing a Marty on the left of two centre-backs, and he was absolutely awful. So finally, the set-piece coach came in, who is the set-piece coach for the American national side, and he's Danish. He has come in. God knows what he's done, but he's suddenly changed it totally around. Wout Faes, what a signing, you know. And Fofana, don't get me wrong, everything I say about Fofana, he's a bloody good player. He's going to be one of the world's best, no doubt about it. But Faes is like 5 years past that and more mature, and he controls that area. There's no messing about with him. If he hasn't got a pass on, he'll stick it in Rose Ed, you know. And Marty was moved back over to the right, which is more natural position. I say the coach came in. We conceded 27 corners in the last 3 games, and we didn't concede 1 goal from them. That's, you know.
Well, you certainly won't concede another one tomorrow.
Well, I believe so. But yeah, it's all kind of clicked into place now. But I mean, Spurs 6-2. It was a 6-2 game because that was the score at the end of the day. But, you know, our defender got our man of the match, which, you know, half time the Spurs were worried. But yeah, we weren't just losing; we were getting tonked, you know. But
just sort of moving sort of up the field. I'm just having a look at some of your results, and goals are not really an issue in terms of scoring wise. One player was we'll talk about Madison in a minute, but in terms of another one, obviously you've got Vardy, and then Patson Daka up front, who does worry me. I don't say I watch Leicester every week, but we were linked with him. He went to you in the end.
Of course he did.
He's got pace, which we very much lack, and that's what worries me.
Yeah, I'm just reading Peter's comment there.
Yeah, I did wonder how long it would take.
You know, sorry, what was the question? Peter's put me off.
Let's just take some of these comments, then we'll come back to that, actually. Gary, I hope you are well. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Gary's missing the games when he's at a stag do. No, going to miss the last game before the break. Can't believe my ticket sold in less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes. Somebody's a madman at the moment. Tell you that for nothing. I'm worried about tomorrow's game. So am I, Jay. I really, really am. Yeah. It's worrying me. We'll come on to West Ham in just a second, but Patson Daka has got some pace. We'll put the ball in the back of the net. Worries me. Not going to lie, Chris.
He is. He's taken a bit of time to settle.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget, you know, this was the guy who, within a few months of us buying him, put 4 goals past Moscow in 1 match. So we know he's got it in him. He will be Vardy's replacement.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Vardy, he struggled this season. I mean, he got 2 against Newport, but no disrespect. We're talking Newport. You know, if you can't beat teams from a lower division in the Carabao Cup, what's the world coming to?
The Carabao
the Carabao Cup.
The Carabao Cup.
Carabao. You say Carabao, I say Carabao. But I mean, stop trying to.
It's going to be called something different next year.
Yeah, well, that's it. You're trying to deflect from the point I'm making here, which is you should be beating teams below you.
But
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, Man City are going to win it, so I don't know why you're bothering.
Exactly. This is it. We all know it. But no, I mean, Vardy's getting on a bit now. He isn't hitting his form in the Premier League. He can't play 2 games a week, and he can't play for 90 minutes, which is why I don't think he will start against you guys. I think it will be Daka that starts. And my God, has he got some pace? You know, I mean, you know, it's like the Duracell bunny. You know, he's taken over from Vardy, and we are seeing a change of the guard this season. I mean, the other day I forget who we were playing, but there was Everton, and there was 2 Everton defenders running back, trying to get the ball back to the goalkeeper, and he just came between the 2 of them. You know, like
giving me nightmares
train.
already,
yeah.
Honestly.
And when you come to think, when he's knackered on 70 minutes, and your defenders are sat there thinking, "Well, thank God he's going off," we're going to bring Vardy on.
Yeah, I think
20 minutes.
I think what it is, and it's been our biggest issue, is that in terms of defensively, we haven't been too bad defensively. It's just the sort of system that's been portrayed by Moyes, and our biggest issue is pace, and you've got pace to Patson Daka, which worries me. I'd rather it be up front than in midfield, because if it was in midfield, I think we quite frankly just get dominated.
We've got Harvey Barnes, of course, in midfield, and he's got a fair. I mean, it was an outside shout for England, but you know, he likes to attack defenders. He's got pace. You know, he will drive that ball into the box, and if you bring him down, if it's inside the box, we get a penalty. Great. Tielemans will put it away if Vardy's not played. If it's outside the box, yeah, James Maddison will probably step up and have a pop shot. But don't be totally down. I mean, you know, I obviously had you and Rob on my show last night, and I'm like, it's not slitting my wrists after the show, but you know, you're not as bad, I don't think, as you were working out. I sat here last season, I think it was, and heard this same from Newcastle fans. Oh, we're going to be awful, blah blah blah. Oh, the season before, say, and they went on and beat us 4-1. You do well against us, and you do well against us at home. So don't. I don't think it's necessarily going to be as bad as you're thinking.
Well, as long as we've got Antonio's cardboard cut out up front, they won't really matter.
Yeah. Well, he'll get a hat trick, obviously, against us. I think we probably both would take a point at this stage, because what I don't want, and I'm sure West Ham fans don't want this either, it is the last game before the World Cup. I think if either of us lose, depending how the results go, we could actually be sat in the bottom 3. Neither of us want to go into that World Cup looking at that table for 5 weeks, seeing us in the bottom 3. Don't think we will, but we don't want that, you know.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, we've had no sort of form or light in the last few weeks that's given many West Ham fans much hope and positivity going into these games. I try to be as positive as possible, but I'm currently struggling to find any positives to take out of it, because we've just been that poor, and it's gone back, and I think it's been worse football than we were playing under Manuel Pellegrini a few years ago. So it's, you know, it's not great, and I think if we do play anywhere near what we've been playing like in the last few weeks, you'll certainly see that, and those fairy lights in your background will get even more bored than you will. But I mean,
it's Christmas. Come on, mate. Don't.
It's November the 11th. Don't pull that joke. I completely forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, no. In terms of just how, you know, my big and sole issue with it is we're at home. There's a chance we might play a back 5 like we did against Blackburn midweek, which is just silly, you know. Unless you're playing a big side, then I sort of understand it a bit more. But there's no need to play a back 5 at home against a side like Leicester. You know, no offense, we should be trying to get at you in that sense. But the way we pass the ball, you'll see it. Our passing has just been awful lately. You know, whether we lose the ball or whether we just slowly roll it along the back 4 to Rice and it comes back, and there just seems to be no urgency, no fight, and just no real go in us. And hopefully we can see a bit of that if we get a couple of chances early, because don't get me wrong, if we concede early tomorrow, it will turn incredibly toxic in there, which won't help us at all. If we can get on the front foot, and if we can, create a couple of chances, maybe create something from a corner, which we haven't done in about 3 years. Well, that's a lie, about 12 months. Then we might get a bit of momentum. But at the moment, it's difficult to see that. And I think this is the perfect time to play West Ham. Personally, before I come on to that, can we have Vardy, please?
No, I mean, the thing with Vardy, like I say, he is coming towards the end of his career. He had chances to leave Leicester earlier on, and I know it's said in jest, but he will end his playing career, I'm pretty sure, at Leicester. When that finishes, he owns a club in New York, in America. He'll go over there with Rebecca, get out the limelight, and just. But if he does come on, guys, please, will you have a dig at Vardy about his wife Rebecca? Because if anybody does that, he scores.
Right.
But just listening to you, then you sound like I did, and many Leicester fans did last season. I hate this playing out from the back and passing it around. You're going to lose the ball, lose it in the opposition's half, and you've got a chance to get back. But everybody does it. I actually did a watch along for Tottenham Liverpool, and to say that they were supposed to be two of the top 6 clubs in the country, their passing was awful. You say, Tottenham on the attack, they're giving the ball away to Liverpool. Oh, giving it right back to Tottenham. It seems but it's the thing. Everybody seems to want, Real Madrid, when they played Celtic, were playing it out from the back. I just don't get it. I say it's boring, but we've stopped doing it as much now. And I think Danny Ward helps with that, because when you've got when we had Kasper Schmeichel, he couldn't kick the ball upfield and keep it in play. 8 times out of 10, he'd kick it upfield and somebody could catch it in the crowd. Where Danny Ward's got better distribution, so we're not having to maybe play out from the back quite as much. But yeah, earlier in the season, of course, when we were struggling, if you'd have scored first, if we scored first, that was it. You'd won the game, because we'd score a goal and just go defensive and try and hold on to 1-0. But the thing we've done. Yes, that's changed now, I've got to say. But, we've beaten Leeds, we've beaten Everton, we've beaten Wolves. We're beating teams that are around us at the bottom. Yeah. And you have to look at this game and go, this is one we should be winning. Because we're not, yes, we're on a bit of form, but, this is a game that you've got to look that, I know it's a bit early to say a 6-pointer, but you should be, should be looking at Leicester's form and going, we can get this. As we are with yourself. We know that if we're playing Arsenal tomorrow away, that we wouldn't probably get anything from it. But we've got to look at this and think, West Ham a bit unsettled at the moment. There's the locals are revolting a little bit.
I think it's a really difficult game to predict, because we might somehow turn up and give a reaction to some positive thoughts flying around at the moment about the team and Moyes, and we might come out and show a reaction. And Peter says here, which pretty much sums up the thoughts at the moment. If we can get on the front foot, we would trip over it, and that seems like what we're doing at the moment. And that's comment of the night. He wins the award. I haven't gotten an award because we haven't won one for 42 years, but you can have a pen if you like, Peter.
That is good. That is good, Peter.
Yeah, very, very good. Mel, I hope you are a Watford fan. Hello, Jake and Chris. I think we're going down again if we lose this week. Oh dear. I love Watford. Come on, come back up, Watford, please. It's a great away day. We always beat Watford away. I love it.
I love Watford, Mella. You know that. Nice to see you again, Mel. I hope you're staying well, mate.
We just need that positive stuff. We've got so many players there, and you'll be aware of the players we've got there, but we're not mentioning them in recent weeks because they're just not gelling together. I'd expect to see Italy's number 9 up front, Scamacca. I'd expect to see Brazil's number 10, Lucas Paqueta, just behind him. But there's no point having those players there when they don't look like they've kicked the football with each other before, because we just look clueless of ideas. And I just think Moyes' defensive tactics is stopping them there, and they're all on really poor form, I think.
But but like I say, we had this last season. We were where you were, but doing well in Europe. Well-ish. But I've gone, and things change so quickly in football. And I know it was 4 or 5 weeks ago. I actually did my post for the BBC that said, "Brendan Rodgers, please get out of our club." Now, my post this week was, well, actually, maybe I was wrong. Maybe Top got it right in sticking by him. He seems to be making the right decisions, and we've been through it with Brendan Rodgers. Like, what the bloody? I mean, when we played you the other season, I think it was we were winning 2-1, and you got
Dawson.
a corner. There we go, a
Yeah.
corner in like the 93rd minute. And he makes
Yeah.
a substitution at a corner, for God's sake. When you're about to take a corner, you don't make a substitution. Certainly not a defender, which he did. And, of course, you got the equaliser. But he seems to just... I'm sat there the other week and going, what the bloody hell is Barnes doing on the pitch? And he goes and scores a goal. Everything seems to... It's the perfect storm. Seems to be coming right at the same time. But this is football. No pun intended, but the bubble can burst at any time.
I just waited for one of them, wasn't I? Slaven Beach lost to Millwall. Their fans booed, of course they do. We love Slav.
Wow.
We love Slav. Hope he's doing well. We love the old shrug when he wins. He shrugs his shoulders, goes to the opposition man, and goes, yeah, well, I love Slav. We love Slav. But Antonio has booked himself in for Panto during the World Cup. Bambi on ice. If we can just get maybe. I'm hoping we're going to see a reaction tomorrow, just before the World Cup, because we've got too good of a quality of players there to be doing this for much longer. We've got some very much quality players there, and they will click at some point, but it's just getting to that stage now. And hopefully, if we can just spark a little bit, if Ben Rama can bring some magic, and we build on it. He brought some magic on Wednesday night against Blackburn. And then build on that and not sit back. And then when we scored the second goal against Blackburn, we don't sit back. We go at them again, and we try and get a third and finish the game. And that's what we've got to do. We can't get a goal and then set up shop, get the flip flops out, and have a beer. We've got especially not a £7 a pint. But
oh no, I remember that. I'm glad I'm not coming now. But yes, it's all of that. We have the same problem that if you look at the Everton game, we totally dominated that first half. It's easy to say, it's a throwaway comment, but it was like watching Brazil. Everton just weren't at the game, and we were passing it around, but we didn't score. And there's no point if if you're going to have all this possession, if you're going to have all these efforts, you've got to take advantage while you're on top. And if you can stop, we will come at you because you're the home team, we're the away team. Madison's going to be on fire because obviously
let's talk about Madison, the call up and everything else. What does he bring to Leicester?
Oh, what doesn't he bring to Leicester? We don't know why it's taken so long for him to be called up, if I'm honest, but he has, and he deserves it. He's done the best possible thing, which is to go out and do his talking on the pitch. He is a game changer.
Do you think that he'll hold back now? Do you think he won't be quite as in there tomorrow?
Well, Declan Rice?
Probably.
I asked an ex-pro this on Wednesday night, and he bit my head off. That they never hold back. I don't know. It's at the particularly. It's got to be
Madison first World Cup, Declan Rice first World Cup. I think you're silly to presume they're not going to be sliding in with tackles and bursting forward as much as perhaps they would do if they've got nothing going on next month.
In fairness, we're not two dirty teams anyway.
No.
I don't think West Ham and
Rice will put a foot in, but.
Well, yeah, unless we put Perez on, of course, then that's going to be a different
story. Your favourite player, isn't
he? He likes the red card against West Ham. Let's not forget that. But...
Turn around, he's probably on your shirt.
I'm trying to keep it quiet. But no, we've seen what he can do with his free kicks.
Yeah,
sometimes I watch it and I'm thinking, for God's sake, Madison, he's free, press him. Yeah, well, great goal, Madison. He just he is him and Tielemans. What two players together? He brings everything to the game. And I'm sure you would say the same about Declan Rice. He was off form last season, start of this season. He had never really got over his injury, but yeah, he's back. He's on fire. Maybe he wants to go out with trumpets all blaring and a hat trick. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It's a sort of difficult game in that sense to predict because you don't know how these sort of players are gonna approach it. In terms of some team news for West Ham, Emerson's touch and go, so I'd expect to see Creswell at left back, which I don't like, especially if you've got some pace down those wings. Then that's definitely something that you will exploit. In terms of Cornet, he's not available again. He won't come back until after the World Cup, obviously now. So we won't be seeing him, which is the only bit of pace we've really got in our side. But I'd expect Skamaka up front, probably similar to you with Daka and Vardy. Skamaka for 70, probably Antonio for 20, give or take 10 minutes, I suppose. And we just need to get some service to Skamaka, and he needs some confidence. All of these players need a confidence boost. They need to get together. They need to put a shift in. They need to start doing the basics right, because our passing in the last few weeks has just been awful. We're not getting the basics right. If we could just get that foundation, not play really, really poor like we have done in every first half this season. We've scored just 2 goals in every single first half so far this season. We played 14 games, we've scored 2 goals. So we'll want to try and rectify and change that. So we're probably going to score in the second half if we're going to score at all. And just a bit of fight and desire and a bit of going. That's all we want to see. And then we might cause you some problems, Chris.
And if Vardy was to start, I don't think he will because he played on Wednesday, whenever it was. He scored 1 goal in the Premier League this season. Whether this will kick on his season, I don't know. But the problem is we haven't been getting the service to him. There's no point having a striker, and people say this about Harry Kane. He's having to come back for the ball. We should be getting the ball through to him. Daka, if he starts, he can set off, 2 minutes after the ball's been kicked and catch it up and do it. So if you can cut that supply out, but we've lost James Justin, so I think the chances are that we're going to have to look in the January transfer window because he's out probably for the whole of the season now. So we've probably got to go out and buy a new wing back. So you got Luke Thomas starting. He's played in Europe. He scored a goal in Europe, but he's still a little bit younger. And if you get at him, you might have some success down our left side.
Yeah. So that left side could be someone to exploit. Where else do you think we can get at you tomorrow?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, defensive wise, we are solid. We've gone from conceding 4, 5, 6 goals a game to conceding 2 in 6 or something like that. We've now we're in the top 3 teams for clean sheets and what have you. So defensively, we're good. Midfield, we've got a plethora of choice. We've got Ndidi back. I said that wrong. I'm not repeating it. We've got a lot of choice.
That's a
lot of choice. We've got Ndidi back. We've got Sumare fit, and we've got Mendy. Don't know who he's going to go for. That will be interesting. If you get an early goal, that would worry me.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's probably the thing that would worry me most. But I think we're going to be probably down the right side, Castagna a little bit, but he's got his wits about him. If he moves Castagna over to the right, because Castagna can play either side, so Castagna to replace Justin instead of Thomas, and then he might bring Mark Albrighton in at right back. Then attack down the right-hand side because Mark Albrighton is not best he can do that job, but he's not best at defending, and he always used to have a penalty in him whenever we played that position. So
fair enough. Let's take some of your comments. Skamaka has to start. I agree. Just got to get some service to him because he's looking increasingly more frustrated the more the games go on. Jesus, who will get a goal tomorrow, Antonio or Bowen? Bowen's got a point to prove. Whenever he has had a point to prove, he's turned up. He hasn't turned up all season yet. He hasn't put in a very good performance that we've noticed all season. That's why he hasn't been called up to the England squad. So he's definitely got a point to prove. And he'll be doing some work, obviously, tomorrow and over this World Cup break to get himself back to where he was. Lawrence says Bowen to score. Out of those two, I'd probably expect Bowen to score. If we hadn't thrown if we hadn't thrown the game away against Paris and got through on penalties, the confidence wouldn't be as low as it is right now. Yeah, we've had a bit of luck this season, but we've also had a bit of bad luck. Well, penalties, it's just, pick one out of the hat. It's complete lottery in it. And we conceded a deflected goal in the last minute to Palace, where Antonio 30 seconds earlier had the ball up the other end and somehow lost it, and we went again. We've had some bad luck this season when we've had some moments of good luck as well. It is what it is, and it's all ifs and buts, but we need to turn those ifs and buts into points, and we need to do that tomorrow. Otherwise, I fear for Moyes, to be honest with you. Peter says Rice has held back compared to other matches. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Cornet to retire. He's just. We were told 2 or 3 weeks, and that was about 2 months ago. So, yeah, hopefully he's going to be back for after the World Cup. Right, final thoughts on a prediction, Chris?
I'm not confident. I mean, like I say, listening to you guys who are probably less confident than I am, but it's West Ham. You always seem to pull a something out.
Are we your proper bogey team?
You're one of them. We've got a few, but I tend to. I mean, we've met 30 times in the Premier League. You've beaten us 14. We've only won 9. Right. You've won 9 of those at your place. Right. We've won 4 away. I just don't want to be in the bottom 3. I would probably take a draw at the moment. The pressure. It's funny because the pressure seems to be on David Moyes from the fans. If we can get an early goal, like you say, it might get the fans turning a little bit, which again would work in our favour. I don't think he should go, to be honest with you. I think you should stick with him. But you've got the World Cup now to sort of think about that. This is the time when managers who might be under a little bit of pressure might go. But I'm going to go for a Leicester win. I've gone 3-0 because, like you said, if there is a good time to ever play West Ham, in fairness and no disrespect to you guys, this is probably it.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree. Lawrence going for a 3-1 Hammers. Dad's going for a 1-1. Peter's going Leicester to score in the first 10 minutes and go on to win it 3-1. We go on or they go on? I don't know. Yeah, who knows? So most games when I remember, Chris, I do a poll in the live chat, and West Ham win, Leicester win, or a draw. And we usually get about 80% usually on a West Ham win when we're okay for form. 24 votes tonight. A West Ham win has took up 45% of the votes, which I think really does sum up the fan base at the moment. We've got 45% of the votes to West Ham, 41 to Leicester, and 12% are banking a draw. So I think that sums up pretty nicely where the fan base is at. Vardy will come on the 60th minute and get a goal, always the way. Thank you very much, Gary. All the best. The kids are playing right. They certainly are against Spurs. I'm watching it. It's currently 0-0 after half an hour. So they won't be on the bench. Same old team. Then 5 at the back and Souček to start. Yeah, it would not surprise me at all. My prediction. I always predict a win. I'm going to change that today. I think we're going to hold you out, and I just don't see where we're scoring goals, to be honest. So I'm going to go for a 0-0, which I'll probably take off of you now, to be honest with you. 0-0, no goal scorers, of course. But I think I've got a funny feeling there's going to be a controversial decision in there somewhere. Which way that goes,
It wouldn't be a Premier League weekend without a controversial decision, would there?
It wouldn't. It wouldn't. Chris, final thoughts? Anything you'd like to add before we go? And
I'm good. I could say, if you'd have said to me at the start of the season that we'd get to this stage and it would be 14th against 15th, I'd have laughed. And I think most West Ham fans would as well. It's nice to see that we are going into this game above you. And yes, you can know it's only by a goal difference and 1 goal, but we are still above you. So I'll take that. But look, I think for you, I think David Moyes, I think he's proved what he can do. I think you should look at Leicester, more. What's he called? Rodgers, can't think of his name then. Rodgers was favourite to go at the start of the season. Cheers, buddy. Thanks for that. And he's still there. So, it's a weird season. We've just, you look at who's been winning, who's been losing. Prediction leagues are out the window, so it can go any way. Give me a draw now and possibly I would take it, but no. I think come the end of the season, I think both our teams are going to be sort of, in the top 10.
Hope so. I really, really do. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to West Ham Unofficial. If you want some Leicester content, go and check out Chris on Leicester Till I Die TV. He's much better than the Poundland Jamie Vardy on YouTube, I must admit. And yeah, thank you very much. No, very, very good.
I was on his show before I came on it.
Do you know him, do you? Oh, he's brilliant. I love him.
I only know him via this, but yes.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
we do talk on here, but no, I don't know him personally. But he's a good lad. He's a good lad.
He's all right.
I'll send him your best wishes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching in the chat, and yeah, thank you very much, Chris, for coming on.
Good luck, mate, and say good luck to West Ham, apart from tomorrow, for the rest of the season, and good luck in Europe. I know you were saying the other day it's only the Conference League. Look, we got to the semi-finals of it last season, and when you look at some of the teams that were in it, and Jose Mourinho with Roma wanted to win it, it's not the Tin Pot Cup that everybody likes. And if you could be the first English winner, you'd be in the record books, and there's no reason why you can't do that. So good luck in Europe as well.
Yeah, there we go. From me, come on you Irons, and we'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Official. Chris, are you going to give us a come on you Irons?
No.
Just go on,
No, because you'll clip it and you'll always use it over and over again. I know you. I'll give you
I ain't got time to do that. I ain't got time to do that. See you soon, guys. Thanks, Chris. Thanks everybody for watching in the chat. It's full match day program from the ground tomorrow. We'll have some sort of build up. We'll have the vlog, fan reactions, all that sort of stuff from hopefully a West Ham win. Fingers crossed. It would be a miracle for Moyes to win something. It certainly would. Thanks, Peter. Thanks everybody in the chat. I'm gonna catch you soon. Bye bye.